Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Hbar, Ondo and near price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna start with Hbar on the daily chart here, where we have our impulse toward the upside. We're still looking, of course, for this wave 3, which is, of course, based on this wave 1, 2. We have, of course, a wave 1, ABC for wave 2, wave 3 given. Wave 4 did not interfere yet with the invalidation of the bullish scenario, meaning we still, of course, in a very long sideways wave 4 that it might be unfolding here, especially that the wave 2 has a very long time range here, and it is, of course, as an expanding flat. We're expecting kind of like potential zigzag here can be a possibility before we move toward the upside, but we still, even on the lower time frame, we see a potential finish W, X, and Y. We see kind of like a 1, 2, 3, and the wave 4 has already interfered so far in this scenario. That means, of course, it can be that you might be having here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 first on the lower time frame, or we might be in double 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, or 5. This is in terms of bullish scenario. However, on the lower time frame, it is very essential, of course, to see higher prices finishing at least this impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be finished there for a wave 3, therefore I can consider that there is a continuation here simply for a wave 5 upward. So let's dive deeper a little bit on the 2 hours chart to see and to get an answer here what it might be the situation. So we have a 1, 2, several 1, 2s internally already, of course, labeled, and we finished here with a wave 3 in the yellow scenario. We have an impulse, or potentially it can be, of course, an impulse, but I see it much more as an ABC 3 waves downward. Now, if this is an A, B, and a C, 3 ways, you are looking potentially at a wave, can be a wave X, or it can be a wave B. I would say wave B can be here, and that because lately we got an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that means I have to consider, when you have an impulse, I have to consider, of course, kind of like an ABC. Therefore, the wave B can be over there and starting, of course, to unfold an A, B, and a C, finally with an impulse that it might finish, of course, very soon with one more low, because you have here clearly a 1, 2. This is your wave 3, this is your wave 4, and potentially wave 5 might still be given before invalidation of this impulse toward the upside. And that means, of course, the possibility is still there to reach a wave 5 here once we finish this correction and start the move for higher. Meaning on the daily, back to the daily a little bit, to see what it might be the situation. If we get a wave 5, this wave 5 might be your wave 3. Meaning 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and a 5 toward the upside. The blue box is still, of course, in target, which it might be, of course, your all-time high. Since we have an impulse already for wave A or wave 1, we have a deep correction. And this is your 1, 2, 3, and you're looking for this wave 4 to be finishing very soon. I would say once we start to see further higher prices, of course. That would be the answer. All right, so that was it for Hbar. Let's see Ondo. For Ondo, on the daily here, we are looking also at a potential impulse toward the upside where we have a wave 1 or a wave A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, finished wave 1 or wave A, ABC, as a correction. And of course, we see continuation toward the upside after a potential wave 2. In case this is a wave 2, you would like to see, of course, continuation for higher prices. Now, what we saw after it is simply a zigzag. It can be an A, wave B, wave C, finished as a zigzag. The only possible scenario to move for higher is, of course, diagonal, ending diagonal in zigzags, wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. Currently, you have finished a wave 2, and we're seeking here to, of course, finishing a wave A, B, and a C, because we're seeking for zigzag as mentioned, unless we are in a very big or large sideways correction in a triangle, running triangle, since you took the high of the A here, A, B, C, D, and an E, very likely as well to be a possible scenario here as an A, B, C, D. Also the D can be, of course, there, and the wave E given there. Meaning, if this is your wave E over there unfolding, that means, of course, we might be in a very, I would say, very close low that it might start to unfold also something toward the upside. So if this is a triangle here unfolding, potentially we can start to see, of course, a wave C as an A, B, and a C, because, of course, wave 2 is not allowed to be a triangle. And in this case scenario, we might, of course, see an impulse toward the upside unfolding as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with one more low. Of course, we're going to analyze this on the lower time frame when it might end up. If we are moving also for higher here as diagonal, 1, 2, wave 3, 4, and a 5, well, it is time. It is a time, of course, also once finishing this wave B, you would like to see a wave C toward the upside, reaching, of course, as these targets, of course, for this potential ending diagonal wave 3 here to unfold, of course, for higher for Ondo. Let's move it inside it for more answers, of course, and see what is going on when it's gonna end up as this correction. So basically in this correction, after the high here, potentially it can be, of course, an impulse finished or not, but yeah, basically it can be a wave 4 without invalidation yet. In case this is an impulse, it can still looking for higher, a wave 5 toward the upside. Basically, if we were looking here for diagonal, it is invalidated. We were looking also for diagonal, it is invalidated. Wave 4 longer than wave 2, so not, of course, available anymore. I would say it would be much more preferable to count here a wave 4 or at least finished impulse, wave B, wave C toward the upside. By all means, this is a correction in both case scenario because you have 3 waves down and you have 3 waves up, and currently we're looking at an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, meaning one more leg downward might finish up, of course, as this wave 4, and we start to seek for higher prices very soon for Ondo. If we want to be much more precise here, if you would like to see the 1-to-1 fib level, would be, of course, a great key level here that we might get, of course, for one more leg, wave 5. In additional targets, you can have also the wave 5 here taken from the zone 1, and based on the wave 3, you can get, of course, a wave 5. Well, this can be a little bit deeper. I prefer to stay, of course, much more preferably with the key level 1-to-1 here, and to see the reaction of the market after a wave 5. We might start to see, of course, further higher prices. Yep, so these are the key levels for Ondo, and of course I'm still looking for higher potentially on the daily or on the macro level. We still see a little bit lower prices on the micro level, which it might unfold something huge for the next days, potentially on Ondo. For near on the daily, so we're gonna start also on the daily for near. You know, we are in 3 ways. First, where we see ABC here as a wave A or a wave W, and followed by a very deep correction here, which can be an A, B, and a C zigzag, finishing wave B or wave X. And of course, we see a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but don't forget this can be also a zigzag over there. For a triangle, very clear triangle, almost as a zigzag, ABC, ABC, and then another ABC, another one there. And I'm still looking potentially for higher unless it is finished. However, finished in a wave E very shallow, which it's gonna be very tricky if this happen A, B, C, D, and a wave E finished over there. And that because it can be that the wave D, sorry, finished over there here, and that you might, let me check the low. Okay, I think this is lower. So yes, this is a wave D here. And that means, of course, your zigzag can be an A, B, and a C finished here for wave E, and you start to seek after lower prices, which is clearly, it is kind of like impulsive on the 2 hours chart. Yeah, we start to see kind of like an impulse, like a 1, 2, 3, but here we see invalidation. Okay, we see invalidation. It's not impulsive, I would say, unless, of course, double 1, 2, 1, 2 again, and then wave 3 toward the downside. If this happens, well, it's very, very critical here. If that happens, that you are in 1112, that would be very, very massive. Meaning, of course, you might simply drop down. Yeah. So invalidation for this triangle, of course, is taking this low over there. So this is invalidation of triangle. It might be a signal for much more lower prices. Okay. So we gotta be careful with it. Let me check. Okay, so the target is, yeah, 1.83. Now the target here is hit as expected in case we are in a 1-2 here and we're looking for higher. But unfortunately, on the lower time frame, to get more answers, I think that we did not had any kind of bullish here. Let me recheck. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. Well, yes, it can be. It can be a wave 2, but basically, let me also clean up here. I don't see yet a very clear wave 2 as well. The low is taken, which is not nice, guys. Yeah, it's not nice. So if this was an impulse, which is clearly can be, but I mean, invalidation was not taken for wave 4, meaning can be an impulse, but we see the wave 2 took the low, meaning invalidation of any kind of 1 2, followed by another impulse. Very interesting. So I would say whether you are in a 1 2 finished over there here for near, and we're looking for another 1 2 again. Yeah, so it can be the possible scenario here that you are looking at this 1 2 3 4 5 again, another 1 2 3 4 and a 5, unless this is gonna be again ABC and we drop down. Okay, we drop down, and of course with this situation, if we drop down, as we mentioned, it is a triple 1-2s. Yeah, 1 2 1 2 1 2 wave 3, because we see something very aggressive right now unfolding. We gotta be careful with it. Targets or key levels to know that we are not bearish here is, of course, staying around these targets. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we are already inside the blue box, which it might be a wave 2. So if this is going to turn into a WXNY, it is the time to move for higher. Okay, it is time to show some strength. It is time to show some reversal toward the upside in double 1-2. Yeah, and I believe that this, of course, it can be your wave 3. Therefore, 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5. In case, of course, that we are in double 1-2. Yep, so this is regarding near. If we break this level and we continue for lower, well, guys, you gotta, of course, consider the triangle we mentioned, of course, on the daily. It's a wave E. We move down. That was it for Hbar, Ondo, and near. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.